Welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 of the Barren Lands. The title of this episode is The Snow Speaks, and I am excited to jump into it. One quick announcement. We want to give a big shout out to Solstice, our first partner level Ko-Fi supporter. Solstice, thank you so much for supporting the content, the YouTube, the Discord, and everything else. I'm super pumped to be here tonight. I'm excited to get into this. We left off at episode 6. The players were episode 5. The players were trying to decide, should they go down this seemingly possibly Feywild sort of path to the right? Should they follow the orcs to the village? Should they proceed south to an alleged Southlanders fort? The group had not yet made a final decision when we left off last session, and that is where we are going to begin our adventure today. So without further delay, we're going to dive into it. Let's just start right here. It's an open game you guys were discussing, and let's dive back in.
Okay, so you can start. You just seen that blue scary lady, and Kelf Soul had come up to Faylene and basically was trying to convince her based on the results of your augury spell to go south, right?
Yep.
Okay. Faylene would essentially say, why should we go south? First of all, what the heck was that? And how do you know that settlement isn't full of things like that? We should go north. It's dangerous, but at least we have some idea of what we're dealing with.
Orcs are too dangerous. Orcs are too dangerous for me.
Soul will look at her and he'll say, I believe that we should go south for the same reason that I have followed Valenthe. Faith. I believe that Lathander showed me that while to the north we have the certainty of hostility, as we were already told. To the south, there is a possible well that we may find goodness. I understand that you have your reservations, considering those that you have interacted with in your previous world. But we need to take steps in faith and move blindly if we have to.
I do not know what this fixation is with following that other elf. Respectfully, she does not speak to us. She goes off on her own and makes decisions without our input. I don't like it. Why should we trust somebody who will not talk to us?
Are you saying this like right in front of Valenthe? Because Valenthe's
yes.
Okay. So this is an open. Okay, so Valenthe hears this loud and clear.
This is not a secret.
Okay.
I will. I will gesture back to Valenthe and say, Valenthe has proven herself capable of maneuvering us through this wilderness, a wilderness that none of us are familiar with. They were the ones that saw the rising smoke to the north and were willing to lead us that way. And I know that trust does not come easy, not for any of us. We were thrown together here by fate, not choice. Suspicion lingers amongst us. Walls remain unbroken. But I will tell you this, if we remain divided, if we let doubt weigh us down, then this land will consume us. We cannot afford to be lost, aimless. We must move together forward. If Valenthe moves forward, forging the path, she trusts me to ensure your safety, to bring you along. And I trust her to guide us to something, anything, that may grant us a foothold in this unforgiving world. If you doubt her, then trust in me. I believe I have done nothing
This is very difficult. Where I come from, leaders are not chosen, they're not born, they're earned. And we all agree. I don't remember taking a vote to say Valenti was in charge. And although I have no doubt she is very skilled, that is quite evident. It is not, it must come both directions. If she wants to have our trust, she must speak to us sometimes. Is that so hard?
Would you doubt her if... Do you only doubt her because of her silence?
A little bit.
Then
We
know that she has spoken with me. She has addressed concerns to me. There is, again, walls that are still built within this group. Walls that I hope to peek over, dismantle, brick by brick if I have to. If you are willing to give me your trust, an ounce of faith, that we can put the same into Valenthe, even though she may not be as verbose or as forthwith as some of us. I do not think that discourages or should discourage our willingness to follow her. Valenthe.
I'll follow my own counsel. I do not wish to cause disruption, but I believe everybody must have a say in what we do.
Yes, you are not causing disruption. Of course not. Your voice, it matters.
And I will tell you all, it may not even matter getting to this settlement because that thing, that creature, that woman, I believe has been tracking us for 2 days.
Then it may behoove us to venture to a place where there may be allies, a place where there might be a semblance of protection. We know that we will not find welcoming arms to the north, but there is a possibility that we will find that to the south. If you offer me your faith, offer me a unearned amount of trust, let us travel south together so that none of us fall victim to this unforsaken land. If there we find that my faith in Lathander and my faith in Valenthe is ill, then I would ask nothing more of you than the forgiveness that you may find for me. And beyond that, I would ask nothing more. But I believe our best option is to move south.
Kelf and Faylene, you should both get an inspiration.
Ooh.
Awesome role
Oh, thank you.
play. Very good role play. Anyway, continue.
Feline would say, fine. I will follow south. I will not go into this settlement. It is what is that word you use, Hector? It is taboo. And I suppose I'll just have to trust that whatever you do inside is in my best interest, but I'll not go in.
And with that, Soul will smile wide, and he'll slowly put his hand on Faylene's shoulder. He'll stride up to her, put his hand on her shoulder, and just say, "In a world like this, that is more than I could ever ask for. Thank you." And then I will turn back and look towards Valenthe and say, Trailmaster, if you will, lead us south.
And she was a bit forward already, just waiting on the group, and then she'll nod at you, and she will proceed to move south. DM, I was going to ask about that map that I was saying that she would be trying to draw. Would she be able to show this to Soul right now?
Yes.
Or is it...
Would you like me to bring it up on the screen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Awesome.
she's showing it to Soul as she waits for him to gather. She kind of signals for him to come closer.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
I definitely will.
I will bring it up. Give me one moment. All right. So, Valenthi, would you like to describe what it looks like as you pull it out and show it to them? Like, basically, just describe where she's pulling it from and how she's unveiling it.
So, before I do that, I don't know what texture we ended up using.
It would have been up to you. However, you would have wanted Valenthi to do it.
Okay, so I would have probably then just done it with the way I described, with leather that we had from whatever pieces were remaining, and from whatever animal hide or such, and then it would be put with charcoal and would be put with charcoal and melted snow of water in order to mix it together, and that is what it would be made of.
Damn.
You guys are all very near this position here.
35 miles. Jeez. I didn't realize we had traveled 35 miles east.
This is Valenthi's best guess for distances and directions and such and such.
Gotcha.
So this is what she would pull and unroll as she waits for Soul to come into the same distance as her and same pace, and she will match his pace for a while, and she'll say, "I've been scouting and trying to use my memory in order to make a map of the wider area. This is best guess. Not completely sure, but I wanted to share this with you. Perhaps you would like to share it with the group."
In fact, I would.
And
yes, I believe this is information we should all be privy to. This is excellent work, Valenthi. You truly are an outlander.
She says, "I would have gone to the orcs myself, though that would be putting the party at greater risk. So, I do believe that south would be the best option after all.
Yes.
But I want to scout it before the rest move in. Should we find allies there, then I think the party would be best to meet with them and maybe make the shelter a place where you can get more information about this land."
I agree.
So the truth about the fort is our first primary. And she looks at the sky. She looks as she's walking with you, and then her face kind of deadpans a little bit, and it seems like her eyes are going back to a possibly a memory, or you see some worry in her eyes, and then she locks her gaze with yours again. She says, "The possibility of a longer stay here is starting to dawn upon me, and I don't want to push the orcs completely away, though I myself am willing to gain their trust. But if we are stuck here for more than months, possibly, I don't know if we will be, it is best that we start making plans to find allies here and gather enough strength should somehow we be pulled into these factions. Perhaps these giants might pose a problem, but if we find no allies at the fort, these orcs may be our only other chance here that could give us help. And she shows the medallions and everything that she was speaking about. I know Carrigan. She explained that this, and she shows the medallion or amulet that has the symbols. She said that these people were friendly to her, and we would find help with this symbol. I suggest we try to find information, maybe.
I'm going to let you guys role play for 1 moment. I have to answer a quick phone call. Please continue talking.
Then it seems that we have a few options. It seems that we are at least on the right path. I will show the others your map and explain what it is that you have, the details you have given me. With that, we can begin our trek south.
And she says, yes. And she will continue walking slowly while he will, I guess, does his thing with the rest of the group.
Yep, I'm going to take the map and head back to the others and sort of present it to everyone and just say, Valente has been tracking her progress and scouting throughout this area and has offered up quite a valuable piece of cartography. Well, the distances are presumed. I believe so far she has done us a wealth of knowledge, and we can utilize this to keep our footing through this area. So this way, everyone is aware of what is on this map.
Hector looks at the map and goes, these numbers are wrong. They're way wrong. There's no way I can walk 35 miles in a day and a half.
Well, I'm sure
I think
that
maybe 3 miles.
I think you count yourself too short there, Hector. Believe if you put your mind to it, you might be able to get 4 or 5 out of them feet. As I
Yeah, but 35.
It is quite an impressive.
Look, honestly, yeah. In this diary, and he pulls out one of the books from his robe, and he goes, "It says here it took this guy half a day to get there, and then half a day to get back. From the cabin to the forest. I obviously got lost on the way, but that's nothing unusual there. But the distance." Yeah, I think the distances are very wrong.
It said that he was able to get from.
And we should be careful.
It says he was able to get from the cabin to the forest in half a day.
Yes.
Well, then 35 miles might be inaccurate. I am sure once we have a better understanding of scale in this area, it may be something that we can correct. I know back when I traveled with the other Sun Knights, we would march anywhere from around 20 miles in any given day if we had to, but that was about the limit of our traverse.
I'm guessing you guys would have been marching if you're just so boring to talk to. You just keep walking as fast as you can.
We maintained our minds and spirits with one another with tales of adventures past and stories of old games that we would play with dice made from carved bone and ivory, card games that Johansson would provide. We had our good times.
How long do you think it will take
hard
to
time.
get where we are going?
Well, from Valenthe's writing on here, it is listed that it is an unsure guess, possibly days.
We will want to
if I
think
was to
about
guess,
shelters.
I would say 3 days.
3
I think it would
days.
be about twice as far as what we've already travelled, I think.
We should assume that weather
Looking at
will
this
also
map
slow
and
us down.
comparing-
Yes.
Yes. So how much of that deer meat have we got left? Have we got enough for 3 days travelling?
We have a portion of 16, I believe. We have not eaten any of it yet, but I have packed it all away in snow to help keep it preserved and cold.
Yes, good idea. But thankfully, Lotto gave us those chickens. Well, who gave us the chickens? No. that
Oh, I
you.
was able to catch them, but Lotto was able to cook them up.
But that's kept us going for a while. So
I
That's
brought
right.
this instrument, and she pulls out a
Excellent.
lute.
Oh,
And she-
excellent.
We could take these strings off of it, and we could make a snare trap too if we're worried about food.
That is true. That would make an excellent tool.
that is true.
What is the ice cave with stone bear?
Oh, you weren't here. They found a petrified bear outside a big old cave.
Oh,
Yeah, figured there might be something that turns people into statues in there. So I was like,
so dealing with a basilisk or a cockatrice.
Yep.
yes, exactly.
Aileen thinks it's a
That's
great
fine.
idea. We should go sleep in there. I don't see what the problem is, guys.
I mean, hey, let's be real. When you're petrified, you're resistant to all physical damage.
Well, see,
Yeah, I did have a falcon tell me to go there too. So apparently, there's a lot of things dealing with bears and caves here.
Jesus.
A falcon never lies. You know, you should trust that instinct.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, I meant to ask the falcon that too, and I completely forgot. Why did you tell me to go into a cave?
Or maybe it was actually saying, "Don't go into the cave," and all you heard was "cave."
Walking too quickly.
Yeah, you don't hear every other word in "don't go to cave." Just go cave, go cave.
Go cave.
We don't hear the negatives. We only hear the
right.
positives. Go cave.
Sorry, Waz. I didn't mean to cut you off. The audio kept delaying, so I couldn't tell that you were talking.
No, I wasn't talking.
I mean, I just mean like a few minutes ago.
Yeah. I don't think you cut me
Anyway.
off.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I noticed I had to wait like about two seconds or so for the audio to catch up.
Gotta love internet
I
latency.
wonder why that is.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a latency there. So,
Well, true.
what beautiful weather.
Yeah, trudging through the Arctic.
Look at this tree right here. Rather beautiful.
Raylene would point to this part of the map and she'd be like, "What is this? What does this mean?"
Oh, it's that
Cave entrance.
I think that's where we were, right? That's the possible Fey cave
Hi.
that nice
Yeah.
path led to. Where were we in the fork in the road?
Hmm.
I think that's what he meant by that. So yeah, because we were either going to go north, or
That's
we were
where the
or we're going to go south.
Yeah. No, Faylene just can't read. She's illiterate.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So
Possible fake.
Whoa.
Seemingly, yeah, we can all move it.
That's fine.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
yeah, I noticed that when I was trying to adjust it, and then I was like, oh, that's moving it for everyone. Whoops.
Now we're all going to be touching the assets all the time.
Can I touch the skull? Oh no. So that forest goes on for an eternity to the east. Crazy lady to the west. Murderous giants to the north.
Yeah. If we're still talking and anybody wants to talk about Blue Lady, Beline would tell you guys she saw that lady like 2 days ago and just thought it was a figment of her imagination.
Wait, where did you see her?
So,
We can just
I
pretend
saw-
that that's
yeah.
that.
Well, we can see her. Well, we can talk out of character voices. She saw her when before we met the orc lady.
Oh,
Yeah, so like 2 days ago. And she was like, it was very brief. I just thought it was a hypothermic response essentially, and then she was gone. She didn't say anything.
interesting.
I wonder
So-
if she's the mean lady or just a fey lady.
That's why Faylene thinks like she's been following them for at least 2 days, maybe longer.
I guess that's the question. Because that one, I was figuring it might have been something was fey because it was up near the fey cave.
Didn't one of you detect like fey magic near the cabin?
wasn't me.
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Put it in here.
It for sure wasn't me, so it might have been
the-
Omen.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Omen.
I think it was when
I
like
haven't got anything yet.
the like walls were moving after Soul was praying to Lathander around that episode.
Hmm.
So either you have a boss fey lady following us, and then another bigger boss lady controlling the region, or is the same person.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if they're the same person.
I just want to know about the whispers. There's a lot of whispers, a lot of bears.
All right, everyone.
Oh, hey.
GM Philosopher's back. I apologize for the for the thing. I have a lot of important phone calls coming in, and sometimes live streams are not super conducive to real life.
It's okay.
No worries.
But I am back. All right. What can I do for you, awesome role players, at this point?
We were just following south, watching
Oh,
the
yeah.
beautiful landscape, and talking about the Fey lady, and if we had felt any Fey magic before somewhere in the last couple of episodes.
So when she popped up last time, it felt exactly the same as in the cabin that one time when Kelf cast a spell, and then you heard the creaking, and there was the like the darkness kind of settled, and you remember you guys saw the frost, kind of the footprints that looked like snowflakes. You recognize that energy. You kind of think to yourself, she was at that cabin, like that was who we encountered, is kind of what you would think to yourself when you compare those energies. Are you guys done with this map up here? Should I take it down?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, so.
All right, very good. All right, so what is the what is the plan? Which direction are you going in? And at this point, it's about halfway through the day. So you guys still have about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were about halfway through the day. You have another, 6 hours of daylight.
Yeah, it's going following south. Basically, that's what Relanthe was doing. Is trying to lead south, and
Yep.
Very good.
gave her I guess ideas to Soul as far as what she was wanting to do.
Very good.
So
very good.
yeah, that's what she'll do. Just keep on tracking to the south, and every now and then she'll probably give more ideas to Soul.
Very good. Very good.
Depending when that happens.
Since we're going south, would we be going past our old camp?
Yes. Unless you choose to deviate, you would be going past it.
Okay. If nothing happened, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Nothing happens right away for sure.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if like by the time we get to our old camp, and if nobody stops there, Feline's always in the back, so she would like take some time, kind of knowing what we know now about the region, and because she's fast and can catch up later, to like erase signs of the fire pit and of the places they slept.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. In fact, I'll bring up that old campsite here if I can find it. Where is it? There it is.
Also, Valanthe would be doing what I messaged you passively, looking at if there's anything happening within those that list of information I gave you. That's what she would be trying to keep a lookout for.
Oh, gotcha. Roll me a survival check for that, and then Tarnik. I'm not sorry, not Tarnik. Hector.
Hey, Tarnik made it in here.
Tarnik is here. Uh-oh.
All right.
You guys are in big trouble.
Oh no, I'm lost. What's going on?
I need Hector to roll me a telepathy check for an unknown. Well, it's known actually. It was in the chat, but a little telepathy business.
Okay. So,
And I would have rolled a 13.
13? Okay. So Valenthe, you, as you travel south, you're keeping a lookout for signs of trails, and I think there's another thing you're looking for, but double check. Mapping the routes, hazards, weather patterns, giant patrol paths, phase zones, orc movements. Okay. So in this half-day travel, you arrive back at your original campsite. It's actually approaching dark when you get back here. Nothing big happens as you guys trudge through the snow. Valenthe, you have noticed that when you are like observing the weather patterns, you just kind of think to yourself, it's just always bitter cold all the time. There's just there's just relentless cold winds, frigid temperatures. And you think to yourself, are there even seasons here? You haven't quite seen enough yet to determine. As for mapping routes, now that you've traveled the same path twice, you went there and back, you are noticing there are some trails, like some deer trails every once in a while. You're kind of picking up on little things. You don't notice any additional like giant sign or anything like that, but you do start to kind of see little signs of wildlife moving through the forest that you kind of wouldn't have noticed before. And it seems a lot more subtle, probably because this is such a kind of a barren, frozen place. At one point you see what you think might have been like bear tracks, but they're mostly filled in by snow, but they look very much like maybe bear tracks. So that's all that you detect on the way back up to this point.
Okay.
Haven't had any additional time to see stars or sunlight patterns. You notice that the sun, by your calculation, these days do seem to be roughly 24 hours, so it's like half daylight, half darkness. Actually a little more daylight. It's more like 16 hours of daylight, 8 hours of darkness. So to you, it seems, I don't know if that's how the world Valenthy came from is, but that's what she kind of recognizes. But I will say this: the sun feels a little far away here. It almost seems like it looks smaller. It almost feels like, man, if it were closer, like normal, it wouldn't be so cold here. But what she makes of that is, up to you. That's kind of all the information you have on that at the moment.
Okay.
And that's just kind of like during the day here. As for migratory patterns, you actually haven't seen a single sign of any animals having any migratory patterns yet, which is actually kind of interesting. And she can make of that what she wills. But so like right now, though, that's kind of a detail you notice. The why it's there is kind of maybe unknown officially. Now, Hector, what was your telepathy check?
17.
17? Okay. So as you guys are walking along, Faylene, you say you're kind of stuck, traveling at the back of the pack, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Luna would have been walking next to Sol. Sol, where in the lineup would you have been?
Probably just in the middle. I know Faylene's in the back, Valenthy's in the front, so just somewhere where I have like good access to getting to anybody that needs help.
Okay. As you're walking along, you kind of see that Luna, she kind of whispers to herself a little bit, and as she's walking, you notice that she kind of like every once in a while she'll just stop and she'll just like rub her head, and she just seems to be, I don't know, there seems to be something going on with her. Maybe, you're not sure if you would call them tics, or she's just making strange gestures, whispering to herself, mumbling to herself. She wasn't doing this before. This is Luna.
Oh, okay.
This has all been in like the last 6 hours. Ever since you guys got to that point and turned around and came back, it's been happening ever since then.
Interesting. I'm going to ask her. Luna, is everything all right? You seem...
I need to tell you something. You can't tell anybody.
Oh.
She just looked at you with these like serious eyes.
Okay. Yes, please.
You swear it?
I will help you bear your burden.
I'm going to use my magic to figure out what Hector has, that marble. We have to figure it out. I think I'm hearing voices telling me, and I think maybe it's like a higher voice. I think I need to do it. I think our team needs it.
What?
I'm going to do it. She starts walking faster.
Luna, what marble are you referring to?
She kind of turns around. Hector has some kind of magic marble. I was going to try to figure out what it does, but then Faylene stopped me. And then she kind of looks past Sol, like as if to see how far back Faylene is. And then she lowers her voice. She's like, she told me not to do it. And I told her I wouldn't, but I'm going to do it. Don't tell anyone, please. And then she's going to turn around and keep walking.
Before you do this, please give me the opportunity to speak with Hector. I was ignorant to this marble.
She says, I mean, you can speak to Hector, but I don't see what difference it's going to make. I have to figure out what it does.
And I'm sure that this is something that we can address together. I do not believe that this is something that we should be doing in the dark.
She kind of looks up at the sun, and then she kind of looks at you. She's like, it's the middle of the day. It's the perfect time.
I'm aware, and that is why I'm saying this is the time when we should be open about everything that we are doing, that you should not be doing this.
You already promised. And then she walks up ahead.
Oh, okay. I put a little jog in my step and try to swing around Hector and say, Hector, I have a bit of a question for you.
Luna's like, while you're talking to him, give me the thing.
What's up?
She holds out her hand. Give me the marble while you're talking to him. I'm going to figure out what it does.
Yes.
Just a second.
Hector smiles. Hector smiles and gives it straight to her.
She just like takes it in her hand. Now, unless you want to interrupt or something. I mean, he holds
I
it
don't. Soul doesn't really know what's going on. So like I remember having the conversation with Luna about not looking at your magic as a burden, and you should not be stifling it. Don't go the Elsa route. But like at the same time, like I'm not going to keep this a secret from Faylene if we learn information. So Soul is just watching.
Okay. Faylene, you're kind of a little. Is that how far back you already think on screen? Is that an accurate representation?
I don't know. Maybe. I think she generally just stays like a step behind whoever is in the back. So if Lotto was in the back, then she'd probably be by him.
He was by Hector. Lotto was walking by Hector, who's actually.
Oh, if they started running, she'd kind of be like, "What's going on?" and sort of pick up her pace. So probably about there.
You should roll a perception check with a DC of 8. It's actually quite easy to make.
Well, that's a 23. So.
Yeah. So you see, you saw her start to run up there. You see her hold out her hand. You see Hector pull out the marble. I mean, you see the whole thing going down. Would you like to do anything?
What are you doing? What is going on?
Luna just kind of like looks at you, and then she looks back at Hector and takes the marble from him. I mean, you like clearly see this. She looks at you like a toddler looks at you before they grab something they're not supposed to.
Oh, Faylene is not about that. She's like, you look like a child.
Are you gonna try to take any action to prevent her from grabbing the marble from Hector?
Maybe. Hold on. How many subtle spells do I have? Oh, I've got all of them left. Okay. Yeah, she would maybe cast drop.
Oh, drop.
Command.
Does that do like what it says?
The target drops whatever it's holding, then ends its turn. But she's going to subtle spell it so that nobody knows she's casting it.
Gotcha. Is there any kind of save, or does it just happen?
Yeah, there is a save. Hold on.
It's command, right?
Cast. Yeah, it's the command spell. So the save is a 13 wisdom saving throw.
Oh. You feel the spell deflected by what seem to be very strong defenses around her mind.
Faylene's nostrils flare, and she gives Luna a very hard look, and is sort of like telegraphing, like, you promised, through her eyes.
Luna glances back and then just starts running, and then she gets to where the Ettin's corpse is. And at this point, it's partially covered by snow. Because you guys remember the Ettin you guys killed here?
Mm-hmm.
And flowers.
Yeah.
And flowers.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still got flowers on it.
She slides on her knees up to the Ettin, and you see her, basically set the marble down. And then she picks up a big rock, and she starts smacking the dead Ettin in the head.
She's trying to get blood!
Over and over. And it's almost like Faylene, you're talking to her and she kind of glances at you and just keeps running, just ignoring you. She really seems to be, So anyway, if anyone wants to do anything, you hear this thwack, thwack, as she repeatedly bludgeons the corpse head of the Ettin over and over again. If anyone wants to take any action, feel free to. But that's what she's doing right now. The marble is sitting beside her. Lotto kind of says, "What, did I miss something, or is everything okay?" He kind of calls out. He seems very confused.
Faylene would try to stop her. She would if she's bludgeoning this thing, she would say, "Stop! This is disrespectful. Stop it."
So you see, actually, let me make.
Soul's gonna intervene and question, just bluntly question her.
Feline, you should roll either a persuasion or an intimidation, whichever one you think is more apt to what her approach would be.
I roll persuasion. It's a 13.
Oh, okay. So she kind of pauses with rock in air, looks up at you, and you kind of see that, I don't know, you kind of look at her eyes, and her eyes are like, they look a little different, really wide open, both different colors, but I don't know, you see this wild look in her eyes, like this almost like wild animal look. But then you kind of see her like focus in on you a little more. Now, Soul, you just said something too, I think. What did you say?
No, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I'm going over there, like Luna, what are you doing? Please, enough of this.
She's like, I just need one thing, and then she swings the rock again at the head of the Etten. Is anyone gonna try to stop her? Or are you gonna let her?
Yeah, she said, "Stop!
Yeah.
I will give you the blood." What are you doing?
Are you gonna try to physically stop her, or is it more just verbal?
She'd grab her arm.
Oh, okay. Roll an attack roll to see if you can get her arm before she swings the next rock blow.
Like a unarmed attack?
Yeah. Unarmed strike, but you can use your dex instead of your strength if
okay.
better.
Yeah, that'd be better. That would be if I add my dex modifier. An 11.
An 11.
Mhm.
So you snatch
Whilst all
her
this
arm.
is going on,
Yeah.
whilst all this is going on and everyone's distracted by the confrontation, Hector will subtly go up to the Etten next to them and subtly extend his shadow claws and cut the ear of the Etten off so it bleeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Soul is going to cast command as well.
Okay.
On Luna and just say enough. As I'm doing this for halt, so that she is forced to freeze and not continue her action. So she would have to make a Wisdom save DC 13.
All right. So right now, Feline is holding her by the wrist, and then she does not make that save. So suddenly she stops, and you kind of see her just like bend over, and she drops the rock. And Feline, you still have a hold of her wrist. The ear falls off the Etten. A little bit of very like blood. The Etten is mostly frozen, so only a tiny bit of blood sort of oozes out. It's almost a solid at this point, barely even bleeding because of the cold.
Oh, she needs brain matter.
She's trying to grab, yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, Feline's gonna push her and try to grab the Etten's ear before she could get it, I suppose.
So you push her, and she kind of falls into the snow. She feels like she's kind of frozen up, and you push her. Due to the command spell, she is kind of like she feels like weak, and she's kind of falls down on the ground. And then you are able to grab the ear, no problem. You also see the marble laying there in the snow.
Oh, and it's not covered by anything? It's not still wrapped in like the hide?
No, she just grabbed it in her hand and then put it in the snow as she started to smack that Etten. And you see that the Etten, the side of its head is starting to split open. You can see skull fragments. Whenever Soul mentioned brain matter, if you look at that, you kind of see, man, one more thwack and the brain would have been exposed. It kind of seems to check out.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah. Feline will pick up the marble.
So you're going to pick it up. When you pick it up, and you're just picking it up in your hand?
Just in my hand.
So when you pick it up, suddenly it imbues you with a bit of magical knowledge.
Oh, my.
You are imbued with a direction. You have in your mind a direction to go in, and that's where this marble is leading you. It's north and slightly northeast.
Does this feel like a compulsion?
No, it just feels like a piece of information.
Okay. Feline looks at the marble, very confused. and then looks at Soul and says, I don't know what is happening. Why is she doing this?
She said that she wanted to know what the marble did. That she could figure out what it does, I presume. And my guess is that she is using the brain matter of the Etin as a spellcasting component, as it seems her magic is pulled from the vitality of individuals as she offered blood to heal. I presume that if she offers brains to whatever gives her this power, she will gain insight. But the dead, and I look at Luna, like not in like a cruel way, but like a resolute way, and just say, the dead are not yours to desecrate. Leave them to rest. Whatever power you seek from this, find another way.
So she's going to kind of look around, and she looks at you, Soul, while you're talking, but roll me an insight check. And then Hector, are you doing any more telepathy, or are you chill on that for now?
At the moment, he's chill.
Okay.
He was going to jump in and so he'll turn to Soul and say, I already sent this creature on to the other world, the other life. This is just components now. This is like any other resource. Why are you so weird about it?
Because Lathander teaches us that life is sacred and death must be honored. I will not stand
Work
by.
is gone. I have honored death. This is just the body. This is just resources now.
I understand that.
Gone.
The manner in which she is doing this is cruel.
What was your
It's not
insight?
cruel.
Soul?
It was not
What
good.
else
It
do
was
you
a
expect to
7.
Oh,
Resources.
you look at her, and you almost get the sense that she's looking at you, but you register sort of an emptiness in her eyes, and she seems to be looking like past you. And then she turns around and she eyeballs the marble in Phaeline's hand, and this is exactly how I'm gonna describe it. You see something you have not seen before. She crouches down on all fours and lunges at Phaeline. Like, when I say
Okay.
lunge, I mean like she uses her hind and forelegs as like you've not really seen a human do this. Like, it's very almost animal like. She launches herself. You see her mouth open. She seems to be going for Phaline's hand where she's holding the marble. And her jaw opens. A little wider than you kind of deem normal or natural. Now, this happens kind of slowly, though. It's not like a super fast thing. She kind of has to get up off the ground. And so you have time to do something. What would you like to do?
Okay, if I have time to do something, Phaeline would.
You could even make an attack of opportunity if you want, because it's like pretty slow. Her movement's kind of slow.
I think she would. Yeah, she would cast, and she would cast, if she has time, Rhymes Binding Ice.
Oh, what does that do?
So a burst of cold energy emanates from you in a 30-foot cone. So I might accidentally hit people, sorry. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 3d8 cold damage and is hindered by ice formations for 1 minute, or until another creature within reach of it uses an action to break away the ice.
Oh, does it?
Hindered by ice has a speed reduced to 0.
Oh, so it basically freezes them for a minute.
It basically freezes them.
So, for her save, she actually rolls what type of save was it?
It was a con save of 13.
Oh, she makes 16 on her con.
Okay. half save. She's not hindered by ice, but she does take half of the 3d8 cold damage.
Okay, now, as this ice pulse goes out, Hector, Sol, and Lotto have to make their checks. Valenthi's out of range, but the three of you have to make your checks.
And the way it comes out, it just sort of like springs from her body. Like it's complete just reactionary. It's not planned. It's just instinct to protect herself with this ice.
So Lotto gets hit with it and he freezes in place. Straight up frozen. Did you roll damage yet?
No, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Let me grab 3.
Sol and Hector, did you make the con saves?
I rolled a 14.
And then how about
Okay.
you? Oh, did you say 18?
18.
Okay, gotcha. So it sounds like you two saved. Lotto was the only one who failed, I think. 13 saves, right?
Yeah, 13 saves. That's 16 points of ice damage.
Okay.
Or cold damage.
Now, since you were focusing on Luna with it, and we're going to assume she's taking the brunt of it, she may have saved against the frozen part of it, but what I'm going to say is that it knocks her backwards instead of freezing her. So she kind of slams into the Etten and kind of rolls down the other side of it and ends up just kind of landing in the snow. And she lays very still for a moment.
I am going to, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to step over, kind of brushing off the ice and snow that accumulated on me. And I'm going to grab her.
Okay. When you grab her, you realize that she seems unconscious.
I sort of look back at Faylene and I say, what was that? What did you hit her with?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit her that hard. It was just a little ice. It was just a little snow.
Okay.
Now, as she's saying that, Sol, you see Luna's eyes kind of flutter open, and she looks at you, and she looks normal again. And then she says, "What happened?"
My dear, you attacked Faylene.
I what? She looks like a little shocked.
There is something that you are not telling us.
She suddenly grabs you in like a hug, and she's like, I was just walking, and then I started hearing this voice. It told me to use my magic on the marble. I shouldn't have done it. You see her hold on to you, and you kind of see a tear run down her eye. Roll me an insight check.
I got you.
Actually, Faylene, you're very close to
that's
you. You can
going
roll
on.
one too. And Hector, if you want to. Yeah, go for it.
Hector is not paying any attention to her. He has gone over to Frozen Lotto.
Yes.
And he's calling on Death. Death, my friend, my master. Help me unfreeze my friend here. For without him, I cannot survive. And he uses his channel divinity divine spark.
Oh. What is the...
So basically, I can give him hit points equal to a D8 plus my wisdom modifier, or force the creature to make a con save and a failed save that takes necrotic. But I'd rather use the channel divinity divine spark to try and unfreeze him.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna say that you put it up there, and maybe it manifests as warm, warmth, because there's a spark, and the ice kind of melts off, and then it shatters, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that." He looks around.
Aline will look at it and say,
"You okay,
I'm
my
sorry.
friend?
I didn't mean to hit you."
He's gonna say, "No, I understand. You were attacked. What has gotten into the girl?" He kind of looks over at Luna with a suspicious look. He's like, and then he kind of punches his fist. He's like, "Shall I reunite her with the earth?"
No.
I don't think so. I rolled a 14 on that insight check.
His lip
Oh, sorry.
trembles a bit in a kind of an angry snarl. Like he seems to be very displeased by what she did. Now I'm sorry, Faylene, you said you were going to roll something. What were you saying?
Yeah, I rolled the 14 on an insight check. I'm not sure what Kelp got.
I got an 18.
An 18? Okay. So you see her kind of crying a bit. Faylene, to you, and this is going to be this is going to be a moment of great role play challenge. Faylene, to you, she truly seems heartbroken. She's like crying, holding on to Soul, almost like, did she did something happen and she lost control of herself and she seems truly remorseful and sad. The Soul, you barely detect as you're holding her. You look at her and you see the way she's crying and you think to yourself, she's faking it.
Oh.
That's what you realize in the moment. That's what your insight tells you. But you also think to yourself, and she's good at it.
Interesting.
Lotto is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll go. No,
I was going to say, Lotto is going to put a hand on Hector's shoulder and kind of say, "Thank you, friend, for unfreezing me." He's going to turn to you, Faylene, and say, "No hard feelings, but we must watch that girl." Kind of steps forward.
Faylene would look at Soul and say, "This is why I said no magic for just a day. Something's wrong."
I will nod. And I would say I believe there's something more here. I agree that is the magic that is within her. And, as he kind of takes in Luna's, stammering apology, he obviously is watching her very carefully, and getting this, sense that she is not telling everything, as fully as she should be. So he will look down at her as she's in his arms and speak softly, not with anger, but a weight of truth behind every word, and say, "You are frightened. That much is real. But I sense what you say and what you feel, they do not match, Luna. I believe you did not mean to strike Faylene, at least not entirely by your will. But the words you offer now, they feel shaped, not born of remorse, but of what you think we need to hear. I do not say this to shame you. I say this because trust, true trust, is not built on perfect behavior, but on honesty. We all carry burdens, Luna. Darkness touches each of us in ways we do not understand, but if you pretend, if you hide what festers inside, you do not protect us, you endanger us. If there is something influencing you, guiding your hand, whispering beyond your thoughts, then we need to face it together. I cannot protect you if I cannot believe you. Do you understand?"
She looks at you with a new kind of serious look. You get the sense that she gets the feeling that she's been the look she gives you almost has a look of like I've been discovered, is kind of the look you get. And then she's going to whisper, "I do hear voices. Something does whisper to me." She's like, "I truly do feel terrible regret. I don't want to get kicked out, I don't want to get abandoned. And then she kind of grasps your hand, Soul, and she says, I promise. No more secrets. It's just these voices. It's this deity I serve. I'm sure of it. It sounded different this time. I think she's using a different voice.
Tell me more of this deity that you serve.
She's like, if I speak of her, I'll draw her attention. I can't.
And I will. And Soul sort of pauses and, looks around and says, We will be here to protect you if that happens.
Okay. She's going to say, now at this point, Hector, everyone could be close by and be listening to this. Is anyone going to get close and listen to this?
Hector is turning to Lotto as he's walking down and saying, well, it's getting very cold. I don't think there's much light left. We should get going. And he'll also project that telepathically to the group.
In like a way that they would be like, oh, Hector is telepathically suggesting, or as like a hidden kind of suggestion.
Oh, no, it just sort of like basically using his telepathy to raise his voice so everyone can hear him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But still speaking in that normal level.
Lotto is going to say, I guess I agree. Nightfall approaches, but we do have another 2 hours of travel time left if we chose to use it.
Yes, let's get going. I don't want to be out here again.
Lotto would walk towards you, Valenthy. Valenthy, did you roll me a perception check? Did you see that in the private chat?
I thought I heard something, but I didn't see it.
Oh, that's okay. Would you roll me a perception check as you're scouting around?
Let's see.
And just as a little
21.
bit of chaos, Hector will use his telepathy and just to Luna and say, Soul can't protect you. Only your magic can.
Are you gonna say that to Luna?
Yeah, just to Luna in telepathy.
Okay, so she's gonna Soul. Now this happens right as you're asking her this stuff, and she's gonna basically squeeze your hand, and her eyes are gonna get big, and she's gonna say, "Her name is Erlise."
Erlise.
She's going to come in very closely and say, she's the mistress of dark magic. I think she lives in this world. Which, this would sound, if you as a player are thinking, man, I'm not sure if I've ever heard of that, it would make sense the Soul had not heard of this, because this is not a...
no.
This is not an officially published.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a god in the Faerunian pantheon, so Soul would be ignorant to it.
And then she would say, if we want to meet her, a dark cavern and a blood-stained crystal.
I'm unsure of why we would want to do that. If she is causing you pain and to turn against the rest of us, why would we want to meet her?
Well, you said to face her together. I think in a cave, if you found some kind of like pretty rock, like a crystal, and then you covered it with blood, I think if I called on her, she would appear. I keep getting that image. That's why I say that. I keep seeing that vision in my mind. I think she rules this place.
I do not know if it's safe for us to do that yet.
Faylene, are you close enough that you'd want to be listening in on this?
Yeah, she's listening. She's not saying anything currently, but she is listening.
Luna was whispering, but they were loud whispers. So if you were listening,
she'd
you could
be a
have
little
heard.
closer. I don't think we should go closer to this person. I think we should get you far away from them. And you should stop using or trying to use magic from her.
Valente, you notice something with your perception check. As you come down here to the south part, and you're kind of looking at the ground, you see a relatively fresh set of what seem to be big tracks. They almost look like giant prints, but they're a little off. And they seem to be going from east to west across the trail.
East to west?
Yeah.
I will go ahead and cast Elevated Sight one last time. 120 feet.
It flies up into the air, and you've seen the view from this
Actually,
location.
I'm gonna go up here to this rock or whatever highest elevation I can and cast it.
Okay. It flies up into the air, and as you've actually, I think you literally cast it from this location at one point. So you've seen the surroundings, and I'm assuming you're looking for a big lumbering thing or something like that. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, anything like that, or anything at all that might be dangerous to the group currently. So anything.
Roll a perception check with advantage.
The danger to the group is here.
Are you sending that as a telepathic message?
16.
I was trying to ping myself, but
So you roll a 16. You kind of look around. Those tracks, this is very interesting. You can see that the tracks go west. They seem to go west about 200 feet up to the face of a cliff, like a small cliff. Like, you know how there were those kind of rocky, ridgy places you guys were walking through, like that, different kind of terrain. It kind of reaches a place like that, and then they just abruptly stop and just vanish without a trace. Like, there's one last set of tracks, and then the ridge is there, and you see no other trace.
I will signal to Soul. I want to talk to him.
Yeah. I will kind of relinquish Luna, just kind of giving her like a slight expression, and a like a heavy sigh as I head over to Valente.
Yeah, go for it. She just stands there and kind of looks down, and then she looks up at you, Faylene, and she just doesn't say anything. She just stands there looking a little bit upset, wipes a tear from her eye. Anyway, go ahead, Soul.
Valente will look at Soul and say, those giant tracks. And they head over to you said the west, correct?
Yeah. They started in the east, and then they crossed the path. That's how you saw them, because you're patrolling, and they're pretty obvious when they cross the path, like right down here.
I know.
But then you, from your vantage point, you saw that they went about 200 feet. Actually, it's more like 300 feet. And then you see that they kind of go up to some rock ridges, and then they seem to vanish into nowhere. The tracks don't lead anywhere else, just that rock ridge.
I will explain this to Soul and say, yes, they started at the east, then headed to the west. They seem to have disappeared within that ridge. Perhaps some sort of spell, invisibility, or camouflage.
Yes, possibly an illusion of some kind.
We should move. I don't know. This chaos that's happening now, but we should be on the move and get away from this area. There's traffic here.
Yes, I agree. I do agree.
And then she'll start moving without any more words.
Okay. All right. What's everyone else going to do? You guys see Valenthy and Saul start to move south.
Yeah, I will. Before I head south, I will kind of call everyone together and just explain what Valenthy saw and say. Valenthy saw giant tracks head into a ridge and disappear. He believes there is some kind of magic, possibly an illusion, that is camouflaging them or guarding them. We should not linger in this area. We should continue moving south, find a place where we can settle for the night.
Does everyone else seem
I
to
will
follow
follow.
the? Okay.
Yeah, Faylene
Until we
looks
get
at
to the tracks.
Luna,
Until we get to
and
the
she.
tracks, then Hector.
Oh, go ahead, Hector.
I was going to say, until we get to the tracks, then Hector would very much be interested in that cliff face if he can see it from their position.
Yeah, is Valenthy gonna well, I guess all you have to do is follow the tracks to see it. It would be very easy to see. And then are you gonna go over there and take a look?
If it's not too far off the path that everyone else is on.
Yeah, it's 300 feet off the path. Would that be too far for Hector, or would he go ahead and go over there?
Yep. Yeah, no, it's too far.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. So you guys head south. I'm going to bring up a new senior. So you guys go south. And are you going to travel till dark, or how long are you guys going to travel for?
Valenthy would try to travel into the dark.
Okay.
She wants to make headway, basically, because of the group. She wants to get the group somewhere.
You know that you have about 2 hours of daylight left. So when you go, let's take a.
I mean, as we are walking, I will use a little bit of my fire breath to light my lantern, the one that's dedicated to Lathander. But I will also cast the light spell on something, because you know what? Actually, let me ask: would Valenthy want me to cast the light spell on her, or do you want to stay more in the dark?
Valenthy would probably want to be more stealthy as she can.
Okay.
Though if the light spell is going to be cast on something, she would suggest making cast it on something and then maybe rolling something over it to make it like in our world, like a flashlight, like a beam of light.
Yeah, like a bullseye lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. If that's the case, then I will cast light on. I will cast light on my shield, and I will take some of the cloth that I had from my clothing, and I'll sort of drape it on it so that it creates a bit of a sliver, so that this way it's more of a flashlight than it is just like an overall light. But the lantern itself is going to provide just overall general light.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. As you guys are walking now, we're going to say that you guys make it without much incident to, I'm placing this map here because as you guys are traveling, this seems to be a relatively good campsite. And we're just going to play it as in you can stop here if you want, or you can keep going. But we're going to say that just the layout of this offers a great place to camp. Wink, wink. This is the GM's camp map for this for this
Nice
chapter.
Valenthy decides to keep going. Just kidding.
Does she really? Okay, I was gonna say
Just kidding. No,
it's totally allowed. If
no,
you would
I'm
like.
kidding.
When the GM offers a new map and you go, nah, I want to go back to the old one.
Valente would just scout for the best little nestled spot she can hide in.
So you see that there are a couple like basically kind of dead, rotten logs here. They would make really good firewood. There that spot that Valenti's on up there, that's the highest point on this map.
Ooh, I like high points.
This is almost as tall, and then these little ridges down here are a little shorter. But anyway, so that's where you guys are right now.
Excellent. Well, then Valente will remain at the bottom for a while until watch starts, and then she'll climb up that ridge.
All right, very good.
And then she'll just sit by herself and stare off 1,000-mile stare into the sky. There's a little bit of stress in her eyes.
Yes. So Luna has been very quiet. She basically starts gathering firewood, seeming to try to make herself helpful, but she isn't saying anything to anyone. She is looking very out of sorts. And she's not doing much. Lotto just actually starts to gather firewood too, and he starts to build fire. And then he kind of asks Hector, where do you think we should build this fire for this camp? Where would you build it?
Well, where would I build it?
Yeah, where do you think we should build it?
Somewhere sheltered? Somewhere behind the trees? Is there a little hidey hole somewhere?
He's going to walk over here. Maybe right here. Under this ridge. He kind of looks at you. You get the sense that Lotto hasn't done much camping. Valente, you hear this going on too. And Valente is probably, very good at camping. So she hears this going.
Yeah, she's just kind of watching the group currently.
Gotcha.
Celine will come down and just say, build it whatever, and then cast create bonfire, like right here. She looks very depressed and very upset. She hasn't been talking much either.
When she lights the campfire, the flames roar to life, spreading warmth and comfort. Lotto, thank you, Faylene. And he kind of sits down. He kind of, sits down, folding his legs into like he's sitting cross-legged. Keeps throwing sticks in the fire. Luna comes
and then she kind of goes into the trees, actually.
All right. How about Sol and Hector? Where are they going to go, and what are they going to be doing?
Hector will just go up close to the fire. He's not
Very
too
good.
silly. He's not going to go too far.
I'll put a little thing here for the fire. Little ring here. Maybe like... it's not that big. I got to get a campfire thing, but oops.
Oh, my bad. Hold on.
Oh, you got one?
I have a little fire token.
Oh, nice. Actually, I wonder if I have a fire token. Probably not. I need to make one. It's a good idea.
There we go. There's a
Oh,
little fire
heck.
token.
Yeah, that's the way. Heck yeah.
I might. I'll have to search for it. I swear to God that I have that I do have a fire token.
Faylene, would you have said this is where you started the fire?
Yeah, wherever he was putting the sticks, she would just like kind of
right here.
wave her hand and light them up.
Very good, very good. Now, Sol, is that a good representation of where your character is standing?
No. Sorry, I just had not moved him as of yet.
Now, at this point in the day, everyone's kind of tired. It's getting dark. Sol, your lantern is lit, providing light.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any special requests or any special things, or is it basically just going to make camp?
I do want to. I do want to approach Luna.
Okay.
And question her a bit. So, you know, as we're all trying to get camp ready, Soul is going to be checking the perimeter of this place. He's just going to be making sure that, you know, there's nothing surprising coming at any of us.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to, as
is Valenthe, is she circling the camp like that, just kind of like repetitiously, just kind of?
Yeah, she's just trying to make sure nothing sneaks up on them either.
Cool.
Okay, very good. Is she
Thing.
doing it like how long would you say she engages herself in that activity? Just out of curiosity.
Depending if somebody takes first watch or until they fall asleep or somebody's taking watch, and because
okay.
she needs her rest as well.
So basically until further notice, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Soul. Go ahead.
So, you know, once everyone has kind of like had a moment of sort of like bit of rest, and, you know, we're finally able to have a minute to kind of communicate, Soul will approach Luna and ask her and say, Luna, this vision you describe, I do not feel it is one of peace or redemption. It speaks of blood, of shadow. Something seems to demand sacrifice. You say that you serve this goddess Elise, that she speaks to you in visions and shows you this cave and the crystal and the blood. And then he sort of like trails off before she really even has a great opportunity to respond, and then speaks up again in not like a judgmental way, but wanting to open up a dialogue. He says, when you struck out at Faylene, was that the first time that something like that had happened? Not the first time that something stirred inside you, but something that perhaps took your control.
Now, as you're saying this, Valenthe, you're climbing up on that ridge, right? And you kind of go over here. You notice something strange as you're kind of walking through here. This tree right here.
Oh, yes.
That tree shakes. You kind of see snow fall out of it, like very lightly.
Ooh. Creepy. I move. I tried to get enough space and try to really peer in and try to see if anybody's hiding in there.
Okay. Now, as you're doing that, Soul, you continue real quick with your talk. In the background, Valenthe's like peeking under that, looking close to that tree.
So yeah, I'll continue with her and, you know, say I do not ask to condemn you, but to understand, so that I may protect you. I can protect anyone. If the shadows you walk with are growing bolder, we need to know the truth, Luna, not the truth that you think we want, but the truth that it is. Just know that you do not face this alone. I cannot help you if I do not know what we are truly facing, or how long it's been the shadow has been creeping towards you.
She's going to say, okay, this is not the first time this has happened. She's going to kind of look down as if embarrassed. It happened to me one other time. Since then, I've just tried to appease her, you know.
What does she ask of you, this Elise?
Well, earlier she was asking me to get the marble and use my magic to figure out what it does. She sounded different then, but other times it's different things. She really seems to want me to go into a dark cave and pour blood over a crystal. That seems to be, I dream about that every night.
And what do you believe, if anything, this vision might be leading you to? Does she offer you insight into what this will accomplish?
Luna kind of looks up at you, and you see her eyes go kind of cold as she gets this different look, and she says, I think she wants inside of me. I think that will bring us together. I think she wants that.
Can I ask you, Luna, when did you start to serve this Elise? When did you find the faith that she offers you?
I started hearing her voice before I came here, back on my homeworld, in Norskal.
And what were those moments like when you first heard her calling to you?
She kind of wrings her hands a bit, and she's like, scary. I thought I was going crazy. But then I started getting these visions of how to do spells, and they worked. So that was proof to me that I wasn't crazy. But then I started feeling things when I used the magic, these dark feelings. Sometimes these she kind of looks at you, and again, you kind of see this animalistic look flash through her eyes. She's like, intrusive thoughts, violent ones.
Let me ask you, have you ever acted upon these thoughts?
She says, only one other time.
If you don't mind, can you describe that moment?
There was a time before I came here where I was traveling with orcs, and I was their prisoner. I think they aimed to kill me, and I had one of these thoughts, and I thought to myself, maybe she'll help me escape. And I attacked one of them, and I was able to escape. I was fleeing. Several days went by. I kind of thought I was going to die. And then suddenly, I ended up here.
When did
Now, as you're thinking about that, Valenti, you should roll either a perception or an investigation, whichever is higher.
Okay.
To look at the tree.
$15.
A 15. So you kind of look under the tree, and this tree is interesting. It has some kind of gnarled roots that are kind of popping around. It looks like there's a big old boulder underneath this tree, and the roots have kind of grown down on one part of it, kind of around the boulder. So it's like kind of like half on top of this boulder, and this boulder is just sitting there, and the top of it is quite large. And the boulder looks, to you, it looks a little bit strange. And then you realize this boulder has no snow on it, and everything around it has snow on it.
The boulder doesn't have snow on it? Sorry, that's Avatar.
Melanthi will say, hello. Is anyone there?
Oh, okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh gosh, 11. 11.
So as you speak, suddenly you feel the earth rumble a bit. The tree shakes a bit more. A bit of snow falls down onto Valenti's head, like little snowflakes from the tree. you see the boulder shake. The branches and the gnarled roots of the tree moving with it. And then it goes still again. Just a little movement.
I will just cast or use Detect Magic.
You cast Detect Magic. I have to check something. So when you cast it, the boulder glows with magic. And then if you concentrate for a moment, you recognize it as the Conjuration School. And then the boulder moves again. And then suddenly you see the boulder change shape. You see two spots on it suddenly seem to rotate in place. They kind of rotate up. And then as they rotate up, you see two large rock eyes open and look at you. And then the whole ground around you starts to shake. And you hear this low rumbling sound. And then the boulder starts to lift up. You see the trees start to it gets knocked over. All of you hear this wild sound. It sounds like grinding rock and tree trunk getting just like torn to pieces up here. And you see like a tree fall over, and you hear this like grinding rock sound. It's super loud. It comes from up there. What is everyone going to do? Okay, go ahead.
I grab my sword and shield.
You grab your sword and shield. Are you going to equip, like draw your sword?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so you ready yourself. Faylene, what are you going to do when you see and hear this?
Faylene would come out of the trees just a little bit to look to see if she can see what's going on up there.
Would you like to use this action with a perception check?
Yes, please.
Roll the perception check.
That's a nat 20 for a 25.
Oh, nat 20. So you suddenly see. You see something coming up out of the ground. It looks like a pile of rocks, but it's vaguely humanoid shaped. It is very large. It is slightly bigger than like large. It'd be technically huge size.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see it coming up out of the ground. You just hear this scraping of this rock. And Valentha, you see this thing, like a big arm comes up and then it pushes itself up and it kind of comes up out of the dirt. And as it comes up out of the dirt, you see its body kind of like magically morphing. And then it like grows another arm and it grows two legs.
Yeah, I think Valentha would be running before all that finishes.
Let's go to just for dramatic effect, we're going to go to Hector first real quick. Hector, what are you doing when you see this happen?
I am running behind Lotto. I'm just moving straight behind Lotto.
You see Lotto stand up, and then he's like, What in the nine hells is that? Luna looks very scared. She backs away. Now, what is Valentha doing?
But she's definitely not going to allow it to finish and try to get out of the distance of any kind of attack. And she doesn't really know what that is. She's going to try to just run this way and jump on this tree.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me either acrobatics or athletics, whichever one she's better at, to leap to the tree.
15.
She leaps to the tree, she's able to grab the branches, and the tree kind of, because you're quite a ways up here, you're about 20 feet up on this ledge, so you kind of jump near the top of the tree kind of shakes a bit, but you get firm hold on it, and you can move your token over there. The thing starts to come up out of the ground, and then you hear this like rumbling sound, but it sounds kind of like a vocalization. You hear and here's a question. Does anyone here speak Terran?
Nope.
Definitely not.
Draconic and Dwarvish.
So you hear words, and then you
Common
kind of
and-
see it turn, and it's moving kind of slow, and it seems to have eyes kind of on Valenthy, and then it takes a step forward, and then it just kind of looks around, kind of slow and lumberingly. Now let's go back to Soul. Soul, what do you want to do?
I mean, if I see this thing, I am going to grab my lantern, and I'm going to head up that direction, towards where this thing is. I'm gonna, start running off in that direction and try and give Valenthe, or try and put some, a little bit of distance, close the distance between me and it, and in order to give Valenthe a little bit of backup.
Okay, very good.
Also, Valente will try to read intent here, like trying to see if this thing is really coming to kill them or. what's
Roll an
going on.
insight check.
30. Yeah, there we go.
You could roll insight or
Insight.
yeah, insight would be the thing. That would be the thing.
And in addition to me running up and having the lantern, I am going to cast the Bright Sparks cantrip. So small sparks of light will flash out from my hand, creating this like golden radiance that illuminates a 60-foot radius around me.
Okay. 60-foot radius.
It only lasts for a round, so this is just to give everyone the opportunity to be able to see what it is we're dealing with.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you light up, and the whole area lights up. You guys see Soul. I mean, unmistakably. Now, what was your insight check, Valenthy?
11.
So you're looking at this thing, and you kind of think to yourself, "Man, it's not like swinging at me. It's not throwing things at me, but boy, I sure don't like the look of it." That's kind of what, like, in other words, a very unsure. But you do not detect obvious aggression.
Okay.
Now let's go to Faylene. Faylene, what are you doing?
Um,
And then while Faylene's taking her turn, everyone roll initiative. Let's go into initiative order. But there is no combat right now. Just to let you know, so far there has been no combat. We're not in combat, but we're just to determine a turn order. Okay, go ahead, Faylene.
Faylene would kind of yell back to the group, like, I think it's a rock giant. And then I assume there's like a piece of like ice nearby on the ground,
For sure.
perhaps.
Oh, yeah, there's
yeah,
ice.
she would pick that up and ready her Snillock Snowball Swarm as an action in
Okay.
case it attacks.
Gotcha. Are you going to do anything else, or is that going to be it?
Nope, that's just it. She'll hold and ready her action and try to call back to the group to tell them what she thinks she's seeing, which is a rock giant.
Did you all enter your did you guys enter your initiatives into the initiative track?
Yep, I got a 6.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, 15.
I'm going to remove
-1.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and go into initiative. Lotto's turn is next. Lotto is going to be like, he's going to kind of say to you, Hector,
Sorry.
or actually he's going to say to Soul, he's going to move forward. You kind of hear his big feet slamming on as he gets over here, he kind of slams his feet on the ground. And then you kind of see him go into a low stance and he's like, Soul, are we fighting this thing?
Wait, who says this? Lotto?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the way that you said that, I thought it was the golem that was saying that.
No.
I'm gonna look back at Lotto and I'm gonna say, I don't know yet, but I believe that it is. It has not shown hostility, but I do not know that it is our ally. We must be prepared for anything.
He just kind of grunts. You see him having his low stance. Kind of looks like he might charge at any moment, like kind of a stance like that. I'm going to try to show you guys a picture of this more close up. And then after Lotto, I believe it was Valenti's turn.
Valenci will hold her hand off to Soul and can you detect evil from him?
No. Unfortunately, I don't have detect good and evil.
Well, there's a nice big old cliff
I do.
between me and him, so
Here, I'm going to put a picture up here real quick, just to give you a closer up look.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Wow.
You see he's got some tusks poking out the front.
This is
big
like
dude.
orcish.
Big dude. He does look a little orcish, yes. But big
It's the
rock.
brother.
It's the brother.
I'm kidding.
I like real skulls.
It does have like these skull-like looking. When you look at them, you're kind of like, man, is that supposed to be a skull? But they almost kind of just look like rocks that look like they have eyes on them.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not quite sure if they're actually meant to be skulls. If they are meant to be skulls, they aren't actual skulls. They're actually rock, but they might be intended to look like skulls.
I'm all out of spells.
Anyway, yeah, it's Valenti's turn.
I'll stay there by the tree.
Okay.
And
Are you going to stay up in the tree, or are you going to climb down?
I'm going to stay up in the tree.
Okay. So you're 20 feet off the ground right now.
Yeah, just to see what it's going to do, so I can still kind of. I hold my hand up in a friendly gesture and see what it does.
Roll a persuasion check or a performance check, whichever's better.
Both. All right, let's see here.
I had to double check. Yeah, paladins in the 2024 remaster don't get divine sense anymore at early levels.
So that would be a 6.
You see it kind of look at you, and it's its turn. It's turn now, so it kind of looks at you, and then you kind of see it turn its body to the side while its head is still looking at you. The rock morphs in kind of a strange way. Then it kind of, you hear thump, 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 and then it kind of turns its body. And this time, now it turns its head away from you, Valenti, and it looks at Soul. It's like thump, thump, thump. And it walks up to here, and it's just looking at, it seems to be looking right at you, Soul. But it takes no action. But you do hear, you hear this like rumbling sound, and you kind of see it's like it's got like a rock, like its face, and then the rocks kind of crack open, almost like a mouth is opening. And then you hear this noise come out of it, and then it just stands there. It is now Phaline's turn.
Baleen would come out where she can see it better. Say, go away! And then cast command on it with the flee action. And that's a 13 wisdom saving throw.
13 wisdom saving throw. Gotcha. All right. Let me double check something here. Okay. So it fails the saving throw. So what was the command you gave to it?
Flee. The target spends its turn moving away from you by the fastest available means.
Okay, so it kind of kind of like it seems to kind of straighten up, and it kind of adopts a rigid pose, and you realize that your spell has taken effect. It's not its turn quite yet, though. But would you like to take any movements or any more further actions?
No, she'll stay there. Actually, she has a little bit of movement, yeah, so she'd probably try to take cover behind this thing.
Very good. Luna, Hector, you see that she looks terrified. She like looks over at you, and then she kind of comes up here and hides
Hector's terrified as well.
behind this one. And that would lead to Soul's turn.
I mean, this thing hasn't approached. I mean, it hasn't done anything overly aggressive. I think what I'm gonna do is just try to like stand my ground, take the dodge action in case this thing comes at me.
Okay.
And just shout at it. Maybe a little bit of flame flicking out of my nostrils.
Okay.
As I say, drive back to the darkness, you wretched beast.
So you see, it just kind of like looks down at you as if its attention going to you and it hears you say anything, but right now it doesn't react in any way. Do you want to take any further movement or actions?
You know what? No, because I'm taking the dodge action, so that's gonna be what I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We go to Hector then. Hector, what are you doing?
Hector is basically behind the fire there, and he's just standing still and disappearing into the shadows. He's fading away.
Very good.
It's a
Is
feature.
Yeah, using that
He has
feature
fade
where you
away,
can go
and
invisible.
goes invisible.
All right.
And that's the end of his turn. He can't do anything else that turn.
All right. We go up to the top. Lotto. Lotto comes up beside you, Soul, and you see him get down in his low stance, and he just like looks at the thing. He has a very serious look on his face, like he's about to charge, but he just holds right there, and he kind of looks over at you, and he's like, huh. He kind of grunts at you.
I'll nod in I'll nod in camaraderie.
Then it is Valenthi's turn.
Oh gosh! All right, Valenthi will get down.
She's gonna climb down.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so with that, she's
As she's climbing down, the branches shake a bit, but you see that the golem doesn't seem to look your way. It just ignores you and it's looking at Soul right now.
in that case, she's going to just do her entire action to dash, and then she's gonna. So that's 20, 30. Move this way.
Okay. Now,
Actually, move this way just in case he is. I don't know that, so. So she's gonna move right there. In case she needs to do anything. And that's it.
all right, very good. This it's this turn now. It's gonna turn kind of quickly, and you hear a and it starts running this way. You see it like, I mean, it gets to this kind of cliff here and it just like runs up to these trees. It just smashes two of the trees. They just like go down. Your splinters. Wood is flying everywhere. You see it running up on the rocks and it kind of crests over the ridge. And you just hear it like, and it's just, I mean, just thumping. I mean, the whole ground shakes while it's running. Faylene, it seems that your flee command has taken effect.
Beautiful.
That's how far it gets on its turn. It's going to then be Faylene's turn.
Faylene will watch it go, and then she will just, she's just gonna come back over here and kind of keep an eye on it as she goes. But she won't take any action. She wants to just see if it clears off before she does anything else.
Okay. So it goes running up there. Yeah. Gonna go to Luna. Luna just hides. It's Soul's turn. What is Soul gonna do?
I'm going to, not necessarily that I'm pursuing it in like, any kind of aggressive nature, but more moving up just so that I can maintain eye contact with where it is running off to.
Yeah. So if you get up there, you see that it has gone up to here. I mean, this is kind of where it is. It's obviously, it's like halfway off the map, but it's right there. You still see it. I mean, it's so tall, although it is getting dark, so it's a little hard to see it. But with the moons out, you see enough of it to see where it is.
Awesome. Then I'm also going to cast Bright Sparks in order to do that 60-foot illumination again. This way we don't lose sight of it.
Yes. Okay. You light up again, and the whole area glows with a fiery red light, almost reminiscent of sunlight. You all see it. Do you have any more actions or movement?
No, that's it.
All right. We will then go to Hector. What is Hector doing?
I think Hector's just going to stay there in the darkness and in the shadows and continue to hide. Well, continue to be invisible. In other words, take no action. Yeah.
Lotto moves up to here. He just kind of repositions himself near Soul, and that's all he does. And then he's just focused, and he's kind of looking like he's getting a little less tense, like, oh, maybe this is the end. Maybe it's going away. Now it's Valenti's turn.
Valenti will not aggressively, but she will move and try to get Elise around, dash to around here. To try to get a view of where it's going and see how far it's going.
Okay, so Valenti's going to go right there. Is she trying to use stealth, or is she just following it out?
Yeah, she'll use stealth.
Go ahead and make a stealth check real quick.
Oh.
29.
She's pretty sure it is completely unaware she's there. She's pretty sure. Doesn't turn and look, makes no indication that thinks she's there. Okay, so now it is. Do you have any more actions or movement you want to do, Valenti?
No, it's my full.
Now it is the creature's turn. Valenti, you're the closest to it. You suddenly see it stop as the command spell wears off, and then you see it turn around, and then you hear, and it starts to fold down into this large-sized boulder, and then it starts rolling this way, and it's like, now, incidentally, it's not aiming at you, Valenti, but it is coming right at you, and it will hit you. Unless you are able to make a successful dexterity saving throw. I'm going to tell you what your DC is. It's a 21.
Oof.
For Valenti?
Yeah.
And it's a dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
I wish I was a stealth. That would have been nice. dice. There it is. It's a 12.
A 12. So you kind of start to jump out of the way, but unfortunately the boulder slams into you. Now it doesn't roll over you, but you do get kind of slammed to the side and knocked to the side, like a glancing blow. And you take 14 points of damage, bludgeoning damage, as Valenthy is kind of knocked to the side over here and slams into this wall, and then the boulder continues to roll this way. Now, at this point, it rolls to right here, and then it starts to unfold itself. And it unfolds itself into its golem form again. And then you hear, and it points a big rocky finger right at Faylene.
Shit.
And that is the end of its turn. It is now Faylene's turn. And
Okay.
then you hear it go. You get the sense that it's shouting at you. Its voice just rumbling the earth. But anyway, continue.
Faylene is having, probably the second worst day of her life at this point. So she's just like, she gets a little snarky and probably goes, and starts like growling back and mimicking at it, and casts, she's going to cast Ice Knife on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Every time I cast it, it says, I doubt it, a 7 hit.
A 7 does not. Well, it would, not get through its natural armor. So it kind of, it just like bursts into ice shards upon impact. It does not seem to do
Cool.
anything.
So hit or miss, the shard explodes, and the target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed a dex saving throw.
So none of the allies are within 5 feet. Dex saving throw. It's
So
probably
13.
a 13.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make it.
Okay, and so in that case, it takes 8 points of cold damage.
Okay, 8 points of damage. You kind of hear it like, you kind of hear it growl as it takes the damage, and you see a little bit of like frozen particles pop up on his chest, kind of like there's little bits of him getting frozen.
She'll move backwards as far as she can.
You see it kind of like move its head and kind of look down a little bit, and then looks back up, and then it's like it kind of seems to grunt again. Sol and Faylene, who are kind of closest to it, and because Valenthy's a little bit, she's probably a little distracted at this immediate moment. You two should make an insight check or a nature check, whichever is better for you.
That's a 5.
That's a
insight.
6. Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing to see here, but a big rock with all right, very good. It is now. Is that the end of your actions and movement, Faylene?
Yes, that's the end.
It is now Luna's turn. Luna does not move. It is Sol's turn.
All right. Being this thing just went after Valenthy.
But technically, he did not know that.
Yeah.
Now here's a good question, actually, and this might be important for you to know, Sol. Valenthy had snuck up there with a stealth check, so you should roll a quick perception check to see if you saw her go up there. That might actually be the best way to inform, because she rolled very good. She rolled like what was it, a 26 or
29.
29. But then Soul might have seen Valenti get knocked aside. What did you make for your perception check, Soul? Oh, Kelf, can you hear me?
sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. Make a perception check.
Okay.
And then make a second perception check.
That's an 18 and a 13.
So you did not see Valenti go up there, but you did see Valenti get knocked aside when the creature came rolling down the hill.
Okay. Yeah, then at that, I'm going to look at this thing as it's looking back towards Faylene, and I am going to shout, "Enough of this! Let this blade blaze with the first fire of the dawn!" And I'm going to take my new longsword and drag it across the shield so that it kind of sparks across it. And I'm going to take a swing at this thing because this thing is recklessly endangering my allies.
Roll to hit.
That is a 16.
That will hit.
Okay, so
feel the sword slice into its rock flesh.
That is going to be 9 slashing, and then I'm going to use my divine strike, which is going to be an additional 12 points of radiant damage.
Gotcha. All right.
Nice.
You see the blade light up, and sparks fly from it. You hear like it kind of growls as it sort of like looks down at you as if now it's paying attention to you. Do you have any other actions or movement to take?
Movement, no. Actions, no either. Yeah, because I was double checking to see if I had anything else, but no, that is my turn.
It would now go to Hector.
So, from the darkness, you hear Hector's voice, and he says, "You are blind." And he casts blindness, deafness on the golem.
Ah, okay.
Hey.
Is there any kind of like save?
It says Constitution DC 14.
Okay, gotcha.
I thought it would have been.
Oh, it fails.
It would have been something. Oh, so
blindness,
blindness
and deafness settles upon the. Or is it both, or is it just the one?
Just the one. So
okay.
Go blinded.
Blindness falls upon the creature. You kind of see its eyes, its rocky eyes. This glaze comes over them, magical glaze, and it starts to shake its head a little bit. It's acting like it's getting agitated. Do you have any more movement or actions you'd like to take, Hector?
Oh, no, that's it.
Right. We now go to Alato.
He is visible, though, because he has cast.
Oh, gotcha. Lotto goes charging up to the thing and makes an unarmed attack. He actually misses. He slams into it, but then he kind of bounces off. And he's like, "It is very strong."
Yeah, it is.
It is now Valenti's turn. So Valenti, you got snow all over you. You're like, you're a little sore. Got slammed around a little bit.
Not quite fast enough. Jeez. Well, shoot. The group is attacking. She's going to move to the side. Cliff here. She really hates to do this, but I guess she's going to go ahead and attack. So that's 1, 2. Okay, so she's going to do 2 attacks. First attack. So 26.
Oh yeah, that'll hit. Roll damage.
All right. She doesn't have no more spells left, but she'll
Your
go ahead
arrow
and do
slams into its back.
dreadful strike there. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 13 with the dreadful strike.
All right. Is that 13 altogether?
Yeah, 13. Dreadful strike, I think, is psychic damage.
Gotcha.
And then she'll do her other attack, which will be
It's not quite the right
in there. 13 on that one.
13 damage? Or to hit?
No, 13 to hit.
Oh, actually misses. It bounces off the creature's stony skin.
All right. Righty. And then that will be it.
All right. Now we're going to go to, it is the creature's turn. So you see it go. He starts to kind of like say something. And he's kind of looking around and he takes a swing at Soul. However, he is blind. So he's going to,
baby.
he's gonna, I think the way we're gonna do this is I'm going to roll it, but I'm gonna roll with disadvantage. Yeah, so he scored an 8 to hit. Does that hit? Soul?
No.
So he swings, and you feel his mighty fist like swing past you, but you're able to kind of duck under it, realizing that his depth perception is off from the blindness. And then you hear him kind of stomp on the ground, and he kind of turns around like he's spinning around, and he's saying, and that's all he does. Now, he was trying to communicate. Seemingly, you're not quite sure what he's saying. None of you understand that, whatever he's speaking, but I will say this. If anyone wants to try to read deeper into what he's saying, then you could use as an action on your turn, either perception or nature. But as of right now, that's just the end of his turn, and that's all he does. And it is now Phaline's turn.
Yeah, Faylene is, I think, just way too pissed off to do any of that. So you see that, she pulls her hands out, and these flames start kind of circling around her body, and she says, "I thought I said go away," and she's gonna cast Scorching Ray, and we have advantages on those, right? Because he's blinded.
Actually, maybe. Let me check. Let's see here. Blinded. A blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Yes, you have advantage against him.
Okay. The first ray is a 9, the second ray is a 21, and the third ray is a nat 20.
Oh, okay. So the 9 misses, but the other 2 hit. And when you hit with the nat 20, you should roll double damage.
Okay.
So scorching rays come flying from over here. Soul, over your head and Lotto's head, you just see pew, pew, pew. They slam into the rock monster. Sparks are flying everywhere. The creature is like, it's like waving its hands as if trying to swat away whatever's hitting it.
It's like trying to make me a crit a bunch of times, and I'm like, no, I just need the first one. Sorry, hold on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just let me know how much damage.
That is going to be 25 points of fire damage.
Nice. So yeah, you see this thing like, I mean, it gets hit by the fire, and then it's like you see it swatting around, and it kind of calls out with like a the ground kind of reverberates with the sound of its voice. Faylene, do you have any additional actions or movement?
No, she'll stay here.
All right.
So that's the end of my turn.
At this point, Luna, man, is she gonna do anything, or is she gonna stick to it? No, she's not gonna do anything. She just keeps hiding. It's Soul's turn.
Seeing that this thing can't see at the moment, Soul is going to take this opportunity, and he is going to shift backwards over to about here.
Very good.
And then he once he positions himself there, the rest of you would notice that there is a radiance, there's a light that's kind of building up underneath his new armor. As he plants his feet into the snow, he raises his shield high and then screams out, "By the light of the thunder, dawn eternal and fire unyielding, burn in the glory of the rising sun." And I'm going to use my channel divinity solar flare. So it would normally be a dexterity saving throw, but since he's blind, I'm assuming he's either rolling with disadvantage or automatically failing, since that requires sight.
So yeah, he's gonna fail it.
So he is going to take.
He's just gonna take it full blast.
66 radiant damage. Let me roll that up.
When you're yelling, you kind of see him kind of turn towards you just in time to take the spell right in the face.
Beautiful. So that is going to be 22 radiant damage, and then he is also set on fire, and will need to use an action to douse those flames, or he'll take 1d10 fire damage at the start of his turn.
Gotcha. Okay. No, he's like, he just kind of like, you hear this like cry, like this painful roar. This doesn't sound like language. It sounds literally like roaring in pain. He kind of swats at the air in front of him, but he still seems to be blind. Do you have any more turns or action? Or
no,
action?
That is going to be everything.
All right. It is Hector's turn.
Hector will move forward and come out from behind the fire and get a little bit closer to the golem, and will use his read thoughts as part of his detect thoughts.
Oh yeah.
So he can target one creature that he can see within 30 feet, and you learn what is most on the target's mind right now, and if the target doesn't know any languages and isn't telepathic, you learn nothing. So he has a language, so I'm guessing I'm going to learn something.
Okay, so is there any save or no?
No, this is read thoughts.
Okay, gotcha. So here's the thoughts you read from him, and it lets you read no matter what the language is. Correct? You don't have to know his language. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
correct.
There's only one thought. You get thoughts of like panic. He can't let you have it. He didn't realize you were with her, and he has to get out of here. That's what you read his thoughts as being.
Okay.
Do you have any other actions or movement you'd like to make?
I don't think I've got any movement left, but I want to send that information telepathically to Faylene, if possible.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. As long as it's, I think as long as it's within range, totally. Faylene, you receive that information. Would she know it's from Hector? Would it be pretty obvious?
Yeah, it's in Hector's voice.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
he's saying, "Don't panic. It's just me. Just letting you know this golem is really strange. I don't understand exactly what's going on, but yeah, he's panicking now. Maybe we should get out of the way and let him run away."
And Faylene, obviously, Hector communicated the surface level. Well, actually, Hector, I'm assuming you forwarded to her what I told you. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which was, I have to get away from here. I didn't know they were with her.
Yes.
Yep.
And also, I have to protect it.
Okay.
All right, now we go to Lotto's turn. You guys see Lotto kind of back up, and you hear like a, and he comes up with like a big like unarmed strike, trying to smack the thing. Oh, he actually does some damage. Oh.
That's my boy.
You see him slam the rock creature. You see his palm strike it so hard that some of the stone cracks. And then he just like pulls his hand back. He tries to grapple the beast. It does not succeed. He fails to grapple it. This is going to then go to Valenthi's turn.
Yeah, she'll take an action to try to, hearing its agonizing voice, try to see if she can gain some understanding. See what she rolls on nature.
Oh, what did she get?
24.
So as you're watching this thing, you're detecting a pattern now in its movements. It does not seem to be trying to be like aggressive, and the noises it's making sound like retreating noises, almost like a creature trying to escape. That's kind of the vibe that Valenthi's getting from this, like a kind of a panicked, sort of like a panicked animal sort of vibe is what Valenthi's getting.
Valency will say for everybody, she'll scream out for everyone to stop attacking it. I'm just in my 6 seconds. That's what I'll try to do.
Okay, very good. It is then the golem's turn. It takes a D10 damage from the fire, 6 points. Ooh. It's not looking very good. It's now like it's just like making these mournful like howls of what seem like pain. And then let's make actually gonna make it starts turning around, and actually I think this is a good way to do this. Okay. Oh man. You see it kind of spinning around as if it doesn't know where it's at, and then it takes off running this way. Now, when it does that, Lotto gets an attack of opportunity, and he takes it. He swings it. Oh no, wait a minute. Valenthi said not to attack.
Yeah.
You see him kind of pull back as if he's about to attack, and then he kind of hears Valenthi's voice, and he's like, "Oh, standing down." But this thing goes running, and Valenthi, you see it run underneath you. That's a 30-foot ledge you're standing on. This thing is not that tall. This thing is 16, maybe 18 feet tall. It slams into the ledge blindly. I mean, runs full into it, as if it didn't know it was there. So it takes some damage. You hear it cry mournfully again, and then you see its body start to morph into the rock. It's almost like its body starts to go into the cliff, and one arm goes inside of it, and it gets up to the shoulder, and one leg goes in, and that's all it can manage on its turn. It's literally phasing into the edge of the cliff. But it doesn't make it all the way in. It is now Phalene's turn.
Faylene is gonna move up, and she just kind of sighs and says, "Just go," but she'll say it in Elvish, and she'll cast command and use flee again.
Oh, okay.
So that's a wisdom saving throw of 13.
Okay, gotcha. Oops. Actually, it saves this time.
Okay.
It does not. It does not succumb to the flee command. Do you have any more actions or movement you'd like to make?
Nope, that's my turn.
All right. Luna runs away. She runs further away. It is Soul's turn.
Okay. As it is running, since Valente told us not to attack, then I am going to where was I about there? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. I will move to here, and I'm going to actually hold my action once I get there.
Okay.
That if I see this thing going after anyone, if this thing does not flee, then I am going to cast command on it and command it to flee.
Gotcha. If it like goes toward anyone, like attack them or something.
Yes, if it does anything aggressive that isn't fleeing, I'm going to cast command to have it flee.
Okay. Gotcha. We're going to go to Hector next.
Hector's really curious about these thoughts, and he's trying to work out what it is that the golem is trying to protect. So he's just going to use his magic action and probe deeper into the creature's thoughts. So it's a Wisdom 14 save to avoid it.
Wisdom 14. Okay. It fails.
And the target.
Nice.
Yep. On a failed save, you discern the target's reasoning, emotions, and something that looms large in its mind, such as a worry, love, or hate.
Okay, so there was three things. There was an emotion. The emotion you feel is fear, but not fear for itself.
Yeah.
Fear for some kind of like what you can only kind of translate as a cause or a job or a responsibility of some kind. It's like a duty, a sense of duty, and it's afraid that its duty is compromised. Now, what were the other two things?
Probe deeper, wisdom, so blah blah blah. Discern the target's reasoning.
Oh, reasoning. It's thinking right now, I have to get into the rock or I'm going to be destroyed. And then all will be lost. That's what it's thinking.
And the third thing was there's something that looms large in its mind, such as a worry.
What looms very large in its mind is, she wants my brain. This vile mistress of dark magic is trying to get my brain. And it wants to give it to her. And you notice that the her is like very much like there's not a name. There's not even it's like a gendered noun that's very generic. Just her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No worries. That's all I can do.
All right. It is now Lotto's turn. Lotto's going to kind of circle around this way, and he's like, Soul, do you believe what you're seeing? It's going into the rock face.
I have never seen something like this before, but stories I have heard of such things. Earth elementals. They're able to meld into stone.
My God. Paylor, protect us. Anyway, that's all Lotto does. It's Valenti's turn.
Okay. Valenthi will.
Here, I'm going to describe one thing Valenti sees quick. The thing is trying to slide into the rock. It's halfway in. You see its face, its head kind of look up towards you. You see its eyes glazed over in the blindness spell. And you see it like slamming into the rock, slowly like forming more into it. But it kind of looks up at you, but it doesn't see you because it's blind, obviously. But it's just, you just see it looking at you and you just think it's like, oh, it's like some kind of animal trying desperately to see, but it's blind. And you're standing there, you realize it just has no idea you're even there. Anyway,
and,
go ahead.
she'll start making her way down, and she'll say, "In your spells on him." Basically, to end spells, whoever might have spells, if possible.
Yeah, I think the only one who has a spell active is Hector, actually. I think deaf or blindness lasts a minute, doesn't it? 1 minute. Pretty
Yeah, it lines a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, he's concentrating on detect thoughts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, she just runs all the way down here, and just letting them get away.
All right. It's now its turn. It kind of, you hear this, this loud, grinding rock sound, and then it slides all the rest of the way into the cliff face. And then when it does so, it just vanishes from view. But it leaves a slight discoloration in the rock where it entered. You can kind of see that the snow has been knocked off those rocks and it looks a bit discolored. And that takes us out of combat. So it's an open board now.
Valenthi would just kind of stare off, but pouncing on the anguish and a mistake that she did as far as shooting with an arrow. And she will probably punch the rock, not to hurt it, but she's punching it out of anger, and
she punches the rock like really hard, that where it's discolored.
Not that part. She's punching it elsewhere.
Oh, okay,
but she's just punching it out of anger and frustration in her mind, thinking she made a mistake shooting the arrow at it, and
Gotcha.
And seeing that kind of reminds her of her animals being in anguish in a sense. And kind of brings back memories of her own anguish, and then she'll just turn back, and whatever arrow she missed with and fell on the ground, she'll just sweep it up and kind of stare at it, and she'll just shuck it at a tree or something, and then that was a mistake, and then just kind of storm off.
Lotto would kind of step toward her as if to talk, and then as she walks away, I don't know if she would notice, but if anyone's looking at him, they would notice that you see him kind of open his mouth as if to speak, but then he kind of closes it again as if he's not sure what to say, and Valenti would walk away. And then he'd walk up to you, Sol, and he'd say, "Valenti seems upset. I do not know why. She did what she had to do."
We all defended ourselves, but I am unsure of what that creature's origins or means want. It is a shame none of us were able to converse with it. I do not like to raise my weapons in malice, but defense I cannot deny. And it rolled for her, put her life in danger, and threatened the party.
Now, Hector, do you still have Detect Magic on? Or no, it was Valenti who had Detect Magic.
No.
Yeah, it was the one I did Detect Magic.
Okay. Actually, I almost forgot something. I didn't realize. I forgot you were the one who did it. As you punch that rock, you start to walk away, and you throw the arrow and you start to walk away. You catch a glimpse of something. You catch a glimpse of this rock face glowing magically, like the discolored part.
She'll investigate. She'll stop and investigate. Go back. Maybe touch it.
If she touches it, the rock face would shake, snow kind of falling down, and you would hear a grinding sound. And then you see those rocks shift a little bit, but they remain discolored. They're still glowing.
So basically, it shifted into it. Maybe it's just hiding in there. That's what she's thinking. Could she kind of get a guesstimation at that, or would there be a roll?
It would be like you could roll perhaps you could actually know. You could make a nature check. I will say it's highly unlikely that it will yield anything, but it is possible. It's possible. So you should make a nature check. Hector, are you still detecting thoughts?
Yeah, I've still got to concentrating.
Okay. No, Valenthi, at this point, you just kind of know what you know right now. But Hector, you detect there are still thoughts coming. You detect, have to stay hidden here. Maybe they won't see me. Maybe they'll move on. I have to heal. Those are the thoughts you detect coming from the rock face.
Yeah. Lovely. Hector would actually be trying to make sure Luna doesn't get too far away. He's putting two and two together with the protecting the brain bit, and he is sort of saying, I think we need to talk, young lady. Do you want to come back to the fire?
She's like, is it safe now?
Yes, he's gone to sleep.
She's going to walk
He'll be
back.
asleep for a few hours while he regains health.
He's still
Now
alive?
tell me what you know.
What do I know?
Of course he is.
I don't know. He's a big
It's not
rock
his
man.
time.
He just like attacked us. I've never seen anything like that.
Why was he trying to protect his brain? Why was he trying to protect his brain?
I don't know. Roll an insight check. I don't know what. I have no idea what all that's about.
Can Faylene give Hector the help action since she's next to him?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So you should roll with advantage, Hector.
Excellent.
Yeah, 'cause she's gonna come over here and be like, what was this info you transmitted? Anyway, so
So 17.
You get the sense that she seems legitimately mystified by this particular line of questioning.
Yeah. I don't trust you. I really don't. You're hiding something from this group, and it's something that's going to get us killed. And I want you to come clean.
The bushes kind of shake a bit, and Lotto comes out, and he's like, I agree. There's dirty business afoot with you. He kind of sits across from the fire and goes cross-legged, and he just like glares at her. She's going to kind of turn and say, I told Soul. I said everything. I legitimately have no idea what this thing is or why it's here. This isn't about me. This one I swear on. This is not about me.
Being that I've already been able to
Am I able to?
Yeah, can I roll an insight check?
Yes, go ahead. And then what were you going to do, Hector?
I was just going to ask. I was going to ask if I could swap my detect thoughts target.
Yes, you can do that.
That's a 20 on insight.
So you get the sense, Soul, that she's in this very specific particular line of questioning, she seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Now, Hector, you switching your detect thoughts to her. Is this the surface level one or is this the deeper one?
No, I'm going deep, so I want a wisdom 14 save, please.
Okay.
I know I'm quite open.
Oh,
Like
she
I'll
fails.
tell everyone, I'm going to dive into her mind. I want to
Oh.
know what's going on.
So as you start to do this, suddenly she looks at you, and this wild look comes across her eyes, and then she jumps backwards, and she's like, "Hector, don't! Please trust me." Is Hector gonna stop, or is
You've
he gonna
given me
continue?
nothing to trust you on.
So when he
Well,
dives,
he's responding by saying,
okay. So he's gonna continue and press on.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the three
Yep.
things? There's an emotion. There's a the
Yep.
emotion is
Reasoning.
actually. Okay, so let's do emotion first. Emotion is straight up
Yep.
fear. It's just fear, straight up. The reasoning, you hear her basically saying, "They can't find out what I am. They can't find out who I am. If they find out, they're going to kick me out. I'm going to be left alone. They will never accept me if they know that I'm not really like them." That's her reasoning. And then what was the third thing?
And the last one was the biggest thing on her mind.
Oh, the biggest thing on her
Whether it's
mind
love,
is
hate, that sort of thing.
first those white orcs and now them. I'm going to get kicked out here just like I did from there. That's what you hear.
She does have an opportunity to dispel it or to break it with a Arcana check.
Oh, let's take a check. Would a 13 make it?
I think it's 14.
Okay, she does not break free from it.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. So Hector will say, okay. So the orcs didn't accept you, eh? Why
Her
not?
eyes go wide with like terror, and she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yes, you do. You know exactly. I've been in your mind. Why didn't the orcs accept you?
So at this point, she doesn't respond or say anything. She just like looks at you with a fearful look, and she seems to be like she doesn't want to respond.
I will look at her and say, Luna, this is the opportunity for you to trust us. We need to trust you.
Roll a persuasion check.
That's a nat 20, so that's a 25.
Oh,
She's going to look at you and she's going to say, "You mean about the orcs?"
I mean, about everything.
She's going to say, what is she going to say? She doesn't like being in this situation.
I want to walk up to her.
She's freezing. She's not.
I want to walk up to her. I am going to cast. It's a cantrip for what it's worth. I'm going to cast guidance on her, not necessarily in the mechanical capacity that I'm giving her a bonus to something, but I want to pass on like this warmth to her and a bit of Lathander's light, because right now knowing that she is potentially a warlock, I'm going with a warlock, potentially a warlock of a mistress of darkness and dark magic, that I want to bestow a bit of light onto her to just kind of comfort her.
Okay. You put the warmth on her. She kind of like looks over at you, and you see her eyes look very vulnerable and honest, and she says, I trust you. I don't think you'd leave me behind, but... And then she just like clams up again. Seemingly really, I mean, she's backed into a corner here. She does not seem to want to answer questions. And then she's like, please just trust me. I don't know anything about that, Gollum. I had no idea that was going to be here. I do not know what's going on. And I don't know what Hector is really talking about either. She just, a very weak, obvious, like that she doesn't know what Hector's talking about was obviously a lie. Like she didn't even succeed at all to try to lie about him. You notice her defenses kind of breaking down a bit.
Shailene looks at her and she says, I really wanted to trust you. I tried to keep you safe when Sol was gone. I tried to keep your secrets, but you lie. You attacked me. You made me do things I didn't want to do. Like, I think if you're ever going to get trust with us, it's now or never.
She's going to take a deep breath. She's going to say, okay. She's going to take a step forward. And then you see her like reach up to her clothing, and she starts to unbutton her cold weather clothing. If anyone wants to talk or do anything, you can, but she's kind of very slowly just unbuttoning it.
Hector will send Valente a little message saying, have your bow ready, please.
Valente just stands looking, but doesn't do much or anything.
She proceeds to unbutton it, and then she takes off the top part, and then her clothes kind of fall down to the waist, and then she starts to remove the rest of it, leaving herself standing nude in the snow.
I grab them and I like try and cover her up.
She kind of holds up a hand and like shakes her head no. And then you see her kind of like whip her head from side to side, and her hair kind of like falls down. But you see something interesting. Her hair kind of shimmers, and then it grows a bit longer, and it turns from white to black. And when she gets done shaking her head, you all see her eyes. Again, different colors, but now they look different. The pupils are cat-like. They are not, from what you can tell, the eyes of a human. Then she gets down on all fours, and then she shakes her body in kind of like almost a grotesque animal-like fashion. And suddenly you see her skin start to ripple. You see these black spike-looking things stab out from her skin. You hear the sounds of bones cracking and flesh ripping. And then you hear a gasp come from her mouth, a gasp of pain and like fatigue. And what you see after she completes her transformation, I'm going to show you a picture of it here. Give me one moment. What you see is something standing on all fours, more like a creature than a person. It has legs kind of like cat legs, claws in the front. They're kind of humanoid, but they're more feline than humanoid. Rear legs with long feet look well suited for running fast in short bursts, and leaping. Backwards knees, like how animals, the knees on the rear of their legs are, backwards in comparison to humans. Her knees are like that. You see whipping out from behind her a long black bony tail. She is covered with these spiky scale things, and this is what she looks like.
What the flip?
And then she kind of looks at you, and you just see this, like, this. She kind of has this strange, awkward stance, but she kind of moves with this like cat-like grace, and then she stands up on her hind legs, and she kind of holds her hands out, showing you her body, which is covered with like these basically kind of like scales, not so different from Soul, but they're not draconic scales. They're these sharp, black, spiny scales. She is vaguely humanoid, but she is certainly no Asimir, and she is not a human. And then she's going to say, there. And her voice sounds a little different. It's a little more guttural. There. Now you see what I am. Now you see the truth.
Shapeshifter, saddle.
What does Hector say?
Yeah, Hector has seen shapeshifters. Oh, shapeshifter, is that all? I've seen heaps of those. They inhabit the shadows. It's where they love to live. And they
She's
explore and it's nothing. You are nothing to me.
She kind of looks
Nothing
surprised.
Special.
She says, if you know what I am, tell me. I don't know.
Well, it appears that you're some sort of shifter. That's all.
I put my hand on her shoulder.
Lotto.
Oh, sorry, good.
I was just going to say, Lotto's a big, bulky cuddle buddy, and Faylene's an elf, and we've got a dragonborn next to you. That's all.
When she says, "What am I?" Tell me. Soul will put his hand on her spiky shoulder and sort of smile, and just say, "You're Luna. Nothing has changed. We just now get to see your true face."
We're gonna do one more thing quick before the end the session. Hector, as you're doing this and as you're talking to them, suddenly something is rattling in your bag.
It's a freaking marble.
I mean,
I haven't got the marble.
no.
Faylene's got it.
It's something different. Are you gonna reach into your bag?
Okay.
It's one of that detector.
It's one of the instruments, is it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
When you pull it out, it's literally by itself going off the charts. And if you happen to point it at Luna, you see it's reading a 2.5.
Okay.
And then you see
One was normal.
then you see above her a bit of an aurora, lights shimmering and twirling. And all of you actually see this. It pops out above all of you like a kind of an aurora borealis, but it's not. And you see within it these geometric patterns. They remind you of the circle you woke up in. And that is where we are going to leave it for tonight.
Ooh.
Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you all to those of you who watched. I want to give a big shout out to our Ko-Fi supporters, to our amazing players, to Craig, our latest gold SoFi supporter. And that is where we're going to leave it for episode 6.
And now, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
You.
We're going to hit end stream. We will see you next week.